Hello everyone, my name is Professor Dave Sewry and I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Commerce. This video is one of a number of videos that have been made for commerce students that will be viewable over the orientation week. This Friday, you take your first step into the business environment by beginning your business-related degree. Within 3 or 4 years, you will graduate, clutch a degree parchment, and a degree parchment that equals the best in South Africa, and if the truth be known, internationally. The years will pass by very, very quickly. This presentation is divided into 4 parts. The first part is devoted to the role of the Dean, details of the Faculty of Commerce, and studying at a university. Second part is devoted to constructing a curriculum. Part 3 is devoted to curriculum approval. And the final part is devoted to expectations, performance standards, some advice I have for you, and what to do when things go wrong. So let's get started with Part 1. Part 1. The role of the Dean, details of the Faculty of Commerce, and studying at a university. The role of the Dean. Leadership and strategy development is at the center of the role of the Dean at a faculty level, and it's my role to ensure that the faculty is staffed appropriately and that learning can take place. I'll guide you through your studies, indeed help you with your choice of your courses and your degrees. I'll approve courses and degrees, and then I'll award degrees and diplomas. It's also my very special task to congratulate you on exemplary performance or changed behaviors, warn you of bad performance, sadly exclude you from the faculty or the university for sustained bad performance, but mostly my role is as Dean is to help and to advise you. The procedure this week. You watched the video of the opening of the academic year. You're now watching this video made especially for all commerce students. Further videos prepared for you, which give specific details of courses and degrees, will also be provided. All degrees and curricula will be approved on Friday, and then lectures, albeit online, will begin on Monday. To give you some idea of the environment within which you'll be studying, the current size and shape of faculties at Rhodes University. As you can see, the humanities faculty comprises 41% of the students, the science faculty 19%, and commerce, that wedge in yellow, you comprise 15% of the students at Rhodes. The faculty is also divided amongst 2 groups of students, those studying at the undergraduate level for a bachelor's degree, and those registered for postgraduate qualifications, and those would include honours degrees, master's degrees, and doctoral degrees. Something about what education is and what education is certainly not. And my most important point is that education is not a commodity. It's not the case that one pays fees one end and then pick up a degree at the other. It's quite unlike you going into a supermarket and going in, fetching a loaf of bread off the shelf, reaching the cashier, handing over some money, and walking out with that loaf of bread. Rather, education is a rich partnership between student and lecturer that sustains learning and finally the acquisition of a degree or a diploma. Much work is to be done by both the student and the lecturer to create that degree. As far as university education is concerned, we're interested in 2 phases. The acquisition of knowledge, students who arrive who learn new things, stuff that they didn't know about before, and the institution comprising both the lecturers, the researchers, and the students who will generate new knowledge, stuff we didn't know about before. So there's both knowledge that we know and knowledge that we will generate, and that happens at a university. The nature of knowledge is such that it's not trivial, and the volume can be considerable, and you're going to find it quite tough at times. Academically, you may, at times, be quite anxious, on edge, and maybe a little uncomfortable. But know this, you will succeed. Assumptions we make. These are the assumptions that we make of students, that's you, on your arrival at Rhodes University. We assume you want to be at Rhodes University and not at another institution. We assume that you want to learn, that you're eager, that you're hungry to learn new things, that you want to cooperate with your peers and staff. When you're given a project and it's a team or a group-based project, you'll work together and you'll work with the staff as you craft your education. We assume that you want to perform to your potential, not just to pass, but to do the best that you possibly can. We assume that you want to take responsibility for your studies. This is really important. Nobody is going to be running after you, looking at what you're doing or how much work you've done. That's something that you will have to do yourself. You will have to be the agent of your own success. We assume you want to ask questions. When you don't know what's going on, please ask. When you need clarity on something, again, please ask. We also assume that you're going to be proactive. You're going to take the initiative, and probably more often than not. And finally, they make the assumption that you want to work independently, that you're quite happy to work on your own, to go and read a text, to understand, and then, of course, to implement. But most of all, to be able to work independently. Some of the assumptions we don't make. We don't assume that you have a prior knowledge of, at the NSC level, of accounting or economics or computing. We don't assume that you have an innate ability to argue, to analyze, and or to critique. If you do have such prior knowledge and innate ability, so much the better. But if you haven't, that's our job, and our job collectively to create it for you. So you shouldn't worry. What's happened so far? Well, you'll remember last year you made application to Rhodes University. You were admitted to Rhodes University in a particular faculty, in this case, commerce. At the weekend, you registered administratively, and the best indication of having registered administratively is that you're carrying around a student card, and you've more than likely been allocated to a particular house of residence. What you still need to do is to have your curriculum approved, and I shall have a lot more to say about that later. The degrees that are offered in our faculty include a Bachelor of Business Science, and it can be taken in any one of a number of themes: economics, information systems, management, quantitative management, and computer science. You might also have registered for a BCom, and in this particular case, a general BCom, and thinking of majoring in any one of a number of those courses that are cited in the table. It might be that you're hoping to follow a BCom law degree. It may be that you wish to follow a BCom interfaculty degree. Now, this is an interesting one. In this particular case, your majors, your senior core subjects, don't only come from the Faculty of Commerce, they can come from the Faculty of Science or the Faculty of Humanities. It might be that you're wishing to follow a career in chartered accountancy, in which case you'll be wanting to register for a BCom accounting, and we certainly offer that degree in this faculty. And finally, you may very well be registering for a Bachelor of Economics, and again there are 4 themes from which you can choose: a business science, social sciences, environmental sciences, or mineral economics. Degree to career discussions. We've prepared a number of videos for you that link degrees and courses to particular careers. So if you've chosen to do a Bachelor of Commerce accounting to follow a chartered accounting career, we've got a video specifically devoted to that particular degree. The purpose of these videos is to discuss which courses are combined in which degrees to suit a particular set of career options. And I really strongly encourage you to view all of those videos so you not only have a very good idea of the degree that you have chosen, but you also have a reasonably good idea of what other options there are. It may be that you might decide either now or later on to change degrees. At least you'll have a good idea of what is entailed in each and every one of those degrees. These degree to career discussions are going to be held next week, and there are 3 that I would really commend. The one is the one on accounting, there's a focus on economics, and there's one on business science. There are 2 others that are also incredibly important. One on computing and software development, and the other is on law. That concludes part 1. Let's move on to part 2. Part 2 is devoted to constructing a curriculum. What is a curriculum? It's a word you may very well have heard before. Well, in our context, a collection of courses you will complete over a period of 3 years comprises what is known as a curriculum. Some courses are completed in your first year, some in your second year, and some in your third year. And once you've completed or passed, for that matter, all courses for a degree, you'll be awarded the degree and you will graduate. Constructing a curriculum requires you to give a lot of thought to a number of things. The first of which is a career specialization. Are you interested in becoming a chartered accountant? Are you interested in becoming a lawyer and working in a business context? Those are the issues that you need to consider up front when you are constructing a curriculum. A curriculum comprises core, or what we normally refer to as major subjects. These are typically 2 from the 4 departments of accounting, management, economics or information systems, or another faculty. And you'll often hear people talking about what majors they are doing. And in addition to their major subjects, there'll be other non-core or non-major subjects, both from the Faculty of Commerce and other faculties. Let's first of all have a look at the degrees that are on offer and get a better understanding of them before we dive into deciding what courses you might select. The first of which is the Bachelor of Business Science. This is a 4-year career-focused degree that has an emphasis on mathematics and quantitative reasoning. There are 5 fields of specialization: economics, information systems, computer science, management, or quantitative management. The BCom degree. The BCom degree is a 3-year general degree in the Faculty of Commerce, but it does have some special fields of endeavor. And the curricula can be constructed such that you are operating in a general curriculum or an accounting curriculum for the students that are wishing to pursue chartered accountancy as a career. You could follow a law curriculum, and these are for students who are intending to operate in the law field within the business sector, and it's normally followed by the Bachelor of Laws, the LLB. It might also be that you will be doing an interfaculty curriculum within your BCom. In this case, we'll be combining majors from within the Faculty of Commerce with those in other faculties, like the Faculty of Science or the Faculty of Humanities. The B.Econ, the Bachelor of Economics, is a 3-year economics-focused degree. And you can well imagine that more often than not, you're going to be doing economics subjects. In fact, the degree is dominated by economics-focused subjects. And again, the careers that you'll be interested in pursuing might be economic forecasting, analysis, and planning. Now, let's get down to some detail. What does a typical degree structure look like? And I'm going to use my cursor at the moment to illustrate and to point to things. Within the first year, you will obviously register for a course which will be your first major, as well as your second major, and a variety of other subjects. In your second year, you will be registering for your second year major and your second year other major. So your two majors will be reflected at the second year level, as well as some other subjects. And then finally, in your year 3, the last year of your degree, you'll be doing your two majors, Major 1 and Major 2. Terms that you're going to be hearing quite often are those related to prerequisite courses and co-requisite courses. Prerequisite courses are those courses that you must undertake as a requirement before you can register for the next course. So an example of this would be, before you can take Economics 2, you must pass Economics 1. There are also co-requisite courses. These are courses that must be taken at the same time. And it may be in the Chartered Accountancy BCom degree at the second year level, taking Accounting 2 with Principles of Professional Accounting constitutes a co-requisite. Prerequisites and co-requisites are very important. It's important as you construct your curriculum that you know which subjects you must take before you're permitted to take others. Let's have a look at some example curricula. And the one that I've selected is the Bachelor of Business Science, and I've chosen the Information Systems theme. You can see that my curriculum is divided into the first year, the second year, the third year, and the fourth year. And within the first year, you'll be doing Accounting 1, Economics 1, Management 1, Maths 1, Maths Stats 102, and Computer Science 112. Just so that you don't get worried about the number of courses that you're required to register for, don't forget that Mathematical Statistics 102 is a 6-month, 1-semester course, and Computer Science 112 is also a 6-month, 1-semester course. In the second year, you will take Information Systems 2, Economics 2, Management 2, Maths Stats 2, and Commercial Law 1. And in the third year, that's over here, you'll take Information Systems 3, Economics 3, and Professional Communications. And finally, in the fourth year, you'll take Information Systems Honours or Joint Honours together with Strategic Management. For those of you who are alert in this presentation, you may very well want to ask, where's the Information Systems 1 that constitutes the major? Well, that is an anomaly. Computer Science 112 that you take in your first year is the prerequisite for Information Systems 2. Now, not to worry, as Dean, I'm going to be guiding you to make sure that you do take the right prerequisite courses, so don't worry too much about that. Let's move on and have a look at the BCom Chartered Accounting curriculum. It's a 3-year degree, and in this particular degree, there is no choice. You do each and every one of these subjects. And again, in your first year, Accounting 1, Ecos 1, Management 1, Commercial Law 1, Theory of Finance, Statistics 1, C2, and Computer Science 112. And then these courses in the second year, and in the final year, you'll be taking Accounting 3, Auditing 3, Taxation 3, and Management Accounting and Finance 3. The BCom accounting degree is peculiar in that it is a set curriculum. You have no choice. These are the courses you do. Moving on and having a look at a Bachelor of Commerce, and in this case it falls under the general category. What might you be doing if you majored in economics and management within a general degree? And something that you'll begin to see is a very common first year in many of the degrees in the faculty. And again, you can see for a BCom, majoring in economics and management, the first year has got Accounting 1, Economics 1, Management 1, Commercial Law 1, Theory of Finance, and Statistics 1C2. Not very different to other degrees in the faculty, whether it was a Bachelor of Business Science or a BCom Chartered Accounting. In the second year, Economics 2, Accounting 2, Management 2, and Professional Communications. There's an interesting inclusion at the second year, Sociology 1. Now, that's not a compulsory subject. I've just chosen that. And indeed, it is up to you. When you're in your second year, you can choose any course. Any course that's offered on campus is available for inclusion in the second year of the BCom degree, and indeed in other degrees as well. It's your opportunity to go ahead and do a course that is very different to economics, accounting, or management, and in so doing, get experience and knowledge and wisdom in a completely different context. Again, and I've gone one ahead there, again, at the third year level, where we've got our economics and our management, there we have our majors reflected. And in this particular case, it's quite easy. There's Economics 3, there's Economics 2, there's Economics 1. There's Management 3, there's Management 2, there's Management 1. The BCom Law degree is a little different. You will see that instead of doing commercial law in the first year, in the BCom Law degree, you do Legal Theory 1. You also have an opportunity to switch Mathematics 1 or Statistics 1C2 and Theory of Finance, or do a modern language. So you can do any one of those three. In the second year, it's Legal Theory 2, Economics 2, and Accounting 2. And again, I've just chosen, possibly at random, that first year course, the any course that you are permitted to take in any one of our faculties at that second year level. It could have been Sociology 1, it could be another language, it could be anything. And then in the final year, you would do your Legal Theory 3 and your Accounting 3. And you can see Legal Theory 3, Legal Theory 2, Legal Theory 1. Accounting 3, Accounting 2, Accounting 1, reflecting the majors in this BCom Law degree. And once you've completed the BCom Law degree, you'll more than likely proceed to the Bachelor of Laws, the LLB degree. The example curriculum for a Bachelor of Economics, this is just to illustrate the preponderance of economics in this particular curriculum. In first year, Economics, Theory of Finance and Statistics, and I've chosen Politics and Sociology. In the second year, Economics 2, Industrial Sociology 2, which is the follow-on course from Sociology 1, Politics 2, the follow-on course from Politics 1, Psychology 2, and Professional Communications. In the third year, Economics 3, Economics 3B, and Industrial Sociology 3. There are majors, Economics 3 and 3B, there's Economics 2, there's Economics 1. There's Industrial Sociology 3, there's Industrial Sociology 2, and there's Sociology 1. But there's something wrong with this particular curriculum. You'll see in the second year, I chose Psychology 2, but I haven't done Psychology 1. So that wouldn't be a valid curriculum because I haven't got the prerequisite course for Psychology 2, which is Psychology 1. So I wouldn't be permitted to do Psychology 2. I'd be required to do something else. So please be careful of that. There are 2 booklets on our faculty website, and you can find us at RUACZA Faculty of Commerce. And there are 2 booklets, and the one that I really want to commend to you is the Leadership, Rules and Curriculum Planning booklet. This booklet provides you with details of the faculty leadership. It gives you all the rules for all the degrees, and the useful part of this, all those rules, is that within those rules, it gives you a detailed list of all the courses that you are permitted to do, and from which you can make a selection when there is a choice available. And if you look at the third part of that booklet, the curriculum planning document, at the curriculum planning section of that booklet, you'll see a variety of templates where it will show you what are the compulsory courses and which are available for choice. And it'll aid you in the planning of your curriculum. Please do go onto the website, download or just look at that faculty booklet. It's certainly going to help you an awful lot as you plan your curriculum. That concludes part 2. Now that you've decided on your degree and the courses of which your degree will be comprised, we can now move on to the next step of submitting your curriculum, submitting your proposed curriculum for approval. The process of curriculum approval will be done online using the Rhodes University Online Student System, known as ROS. I'm sure you've heard a lot about ROS, and we're certainly going to be using ROS for you to submit your curriculum for my approval. I do want to ensure, and will you make sure, that you attend the ROS training sessions. Make sure you know exactly how to use ROS and what you'll need to do to be able to submit your curriculum. Pre-approved standard curricula. At the time of your admission to the university, you will have been admitted to either a Bachelor of Business Science, a Bachelor of Commerce, or a Bachelor of Economics. What I don't know is what you'd like to do within any one of those degrees. So if you've been admitted to a BCom degree, I have no way of knowing whether you want to do a BCom Chartered Accounting, a BCom Law, or a BCom majoring in Economics and Management. This is your time to be able to tell me which one it is that you want. Now, what I am able to do is to provide you with a pre-approved standard curriculum, a guess, as it were, as to what you might be doing within a Bachelor of Business Science, a Bachelor of Commerce, and other degrees. And it's because of the uniformity across the first year of most of our degrees that I'm able to do that. Now, this may or may not be correct for you, and now's your time to be able to say, yes, that's absolutely fine, that's precisely what I want to do, or no, I want to do something different. So if the pre-approved standard curriculum is correct, then you can submit it as your curriculum. Otherwise, you must make whatever changes you wish to make, and then you submit that as your curriculum. So let's have a look at the pre-approved Bachelor of Business Science. What I've put on your record is that I think that you're going to want to do Accounting 1, Economics 1, Management 1, Mathematics 1, Computer Science 112, and Statistics 1C2. Well, the truth of the matter is that you're going to be required to do all of those with the exception of Statistics 1C2, where you do have a choice. So there is a choice related to Statistics 1C2, and it is in reference to what you might be doing next year. So if you're contemplating doing Mathematical Statistics 2, then you're going to need to do MathStats 102 as the prerequisite course. So you may have to change your Statistics 1C2 and replace it with MathStats 102. But otherwise, it's Accounting 1, Economics 1, Management 1, Maths 1, and ComSci 112. Make a change to the stats if you wish, and then you can go ahead and submit it. And of course, do get out that faculty booklet, do get hold of the Bachelor of Business Science templates, work with it, and then go ahead and submit your curriculum. The pre-approved BCom, whether you're doing a general BCom, an accounting, law, or interfaculty, comprises the following subjects: Accounting 1, Economics 1, Management 1, Commercial Law 1, Statistics 1C2, Theory of Finance, and Computer Science 112. That's what I'm going to give you as a pre-approved standard curriculum. Let's see what changes you might have to make, depending on whether you're doing the general, the accounting, the law, or the interfaculty variant. Let's go and have a look at that. Here we have the BCom Accounting. So all of you who are interested in pursuing a career in chartered accountancy, now's the time to listen up. This particular pre-approved standard curriculum comprising all of these courses is compulsory. You have no choice. So you don't have to make any changes. You leave it as it is. So if you're interested in becoming a chartered accountant and you're following the BCom accounting route, all you need to do is submit this pre-approved standard curriculum. Don't make any changes. You proceed as I've given you. If you're pursuing the BCom law route, then there are some changes that you have to make. And be careful with these, particularly the BCom law. So in the first instance, it's necessary for you to delete commercial law, and replace it with Legal Theory 1. Legal Theory 1 goes in the place of commercial law. In addition to that, you may replace Statistics 1C2 and Theory of Finance with either Mathematics 1 or a modern language. It's up to you. And quite a number of our BCom law students do take a language. There is, of course, one warning that I must issue you. If indeed the BCom law degree doesn't work well for you, and you didn't get through the legal theory or you didn't like it, all you will need to do is to do commercial law the next year. If you've switched out Statistics 1C2 and Theory of Finance for a modern language, you're going to have to do Stats 1C2 and Theory of Finance the next year. If you put Mathematics 1 in the place of Stats 1C2 and Theory of Finance, we'll accept Maths 1 as an alternative to Statistics and Theory of Finance. So be careful about making this particular change in the event that you decide to change from your BCom law degree. In addition, Computer Science 112 is not something that you are compelled to take. It's a good idea to take it nonetheless, especially if you do cease to pursue the BCom law route. Then this becomes a prerequisite for a BCom Chartered Accounting, or for that matter, you can use Computer Science 112 as that course in your second year, where you're required to do a full year course. You can offer Computer Science 112 as a 6-month, 1-semester course as part of that course in your second year. So you won't have to do a full year course. All you'll have to do is another 1-semester, 6-month course. So change the legal theory, consider the stats and the theory of finance, as well as the Computer Science 112. But my advice is keep the 112. It'll stand you in good stead. The BCom general route may require you to make some changes. Again, you can see the pre-approved standard curriculum that I mentioned earlier. Again, you can change the Statistics 1C2 and the Theory of Finance for Maths 1. And you don't have to do the Computer Science 112, but it's a jolly good idea to do it. And of course, it can form part of that second year course where you're permitted to do anything. So if you're going to pursue a BCom General, maybe majoring in Economics and Management, or for that matter, Economics and Information Systems too, and remember Computer Science 112 is the prerequisite, another good reason to do it in your first year, to give you options in second year, where you might want to major in Information Systems. So you may have to make some changes. In the general case, not many students need to make changes. They are happy with this pre-approved standard curriculum. The pre-approved BCom interfaculty requires you to make some changes. I don't know that you want to do a BCom interfaculty. You need to tell me via the curriculum approval, and it's a little more complex than usual. In the first instance, you need to go ahead and to add the science or humanities major that you intend to do. So let us suppose that you want to major in, say, management and sociology. You would then need to add sociology to your first year curriculum. Because you've now added sociology, we will then have a choice over here of doing one of commercial law, stats and TOEFL, or maths 1. You choose one of those. And the one, of course, which you don't do, we do in your second year. So to repeat, you're going to major in, for example, management and sociology. Sociology being your humanities major. Add sociology 1. Then go and have a look at commercial law 1, statistics 1C2, and theory of finance. And you can take one of those, either commercial law or statistics 1C2 and theory of finance, or maths. And the one that you don't do, you'll do in your second year. And again, you don't have to do the computer science 112, but I strongly recommend that you do, to give you options in your second year. Remember information systems 2. And again, it's not a wasted credit that you'll be doing. You will get credit for in the second year, where it can become part of that open course that you're allowed to do. So please be careful with the BCom interfaculty curriculum approval. As far as the Bachelor of Economics is concerned, you must make some changes. You will need to let me know via your curriculum which theme you're taking. Is it business science, environmental science, social science, or mineral economics? And now for this, you need to refer to that faculty booklet. Go to the Bachelor of Economics, go to the templates, choose the template that you're looking for, the business science, the environmental science, the social science, the mineral economics, and work with those templates and include in your first year curriculum those courses which are mentioned in the booklet. Be very careful of this one and keep a very close eye on what's going on. Be careful. Finally, if you've been admitted to the Bachelor of Commerce Extended Studies program, you'll be given the following pre-approved standard curriculum: Accounting 1F, Theory of Finance, Management 101, Management 102, Manage 101 Extended, Management 102 Extended, and Introduction to Computers. You don't have to make any changes. This is a pre-approved, standard, and compulsory curriculum. You don't have any choice in this particular curriculum. So all you need to do is submit it for approval. Don't make any changes. So for all our BCom extended study students, this is your pre-approved standard curriculum, which you don't have to make any changes. That concludes part 3. In part 4, I'd like to talk a little bit about expectations that I have of students, performance standards, give you some advice, and then obviously to give you some advice on what to do when things go wrong. Expectations. There is an expectation that you will attend your lectures, your practicals, your tutorials, and you'll write your tests and your examinations. These are vitally important. Obviously, there may well be times when you're not in a position to attend your lectures or your practice tests or write your tests and examinations. You may be ill. You might be hospitalized. In these instances, it's really important that you make application for leave of absence. This is a submission that you can make to your departments, wherein you give details of why you can't attend your lectures, and they will have a look at it, they'll consider it, and then they will give you leave of absence, condone your absence, and then you can go ahead and do that work, but not in the presence in that lecture or in that practical. It's really important that you do make application for leave of absence when you can't be at your lectures or your practice, your tutorials, or you can't write your tests or examinations. And keep an eye open when you start your particular courses for procedures for submitting a leave of absence. There's an expectation that you will submit all your work. Not some of it or most of it. You'll submit all your work. You'll also need to earn what is called a duly performed certificate for all your courses. This is a certificate that's issued to students that indicates that they've worked and they've done the work of the course. They've attended their lectures, they've attended their practicals and done whatever work was required. Same for tutorials, and they've written the tests and the examinations, and they have duly performed for the work of that course and done the classwork. You then are given admission to write the final examination. If you don't have a DP for a particular course, you're not permitted to write the final examination. Performance standards. These are very different at a university versus a school environment. At a university, at Rhodes University, and in the Faculty of Commerce, all courses must be passed at the 50% level. And you must pass all the courses required for a degree, not some of them or most of them. You must pass all of them, and you must get at least 50% for those courses. Supplementary examinations are offered for both mid-year and November examinations, where you got a mark typically in the region of greater than equal to 45, but less than 50%. This is an opportunity where you can write the examination a second time. We also have a facility whereby if a course is divided into 2 semesters, you'll have a look and you'll be able to see that Management 1 is divided into Management 101 and Management 102. And if you get an average mark of 50% or more for those 2 courses, then you will be deemed to have passed Management 1. Now, of course, it's not just as easy as a straight average. You've got to get at least a minimum mark, which is typically 45%. So if you go ahead and get 65 and say 45, then your average is more than 50%, and you will be given a pass for Management 1. At the end of your degree, we also have a facility known as a Last Outstanding Credit Examination. So if there's one course still outstanding once you've written all the exams that you have failed, we will give you another opportunity to write that. But you'll learn much more about that when you get to your 3rd year level. As far as the pass mark is concerned, 50% is the minimum level of performance to be deemed to have passed the course. And my advice is don't target getting 50%. First of all, there's lots of room for improvement from a 50. But most importantly, if you're targeting 50%, there's absolutely no room for error. There's no margin for error. If you have a bad day, you'll get less than 50%, and unfortunately, you'll fail. If you're targeting 65 or 70% for your courses, and you have a bad day, then maybe you'll get 60 or 55%, but you'll still pass. So my advice to you is always target as good a mark as possible and never target 50%. Some general advice that I have for students. Over the years, I've observed what students do that ends up with them being successful. So what do successful students do that makes them successful? Well, in the first instance, they structure their time. They make absolutely sure that they prioritize their academic work. They go to their lectures, they do their assignments and projects, and they write all their assessments. They never miss them. They also do some form of sport and exercise. This might be an organized sport. It might be going for a walk with a friend, but they do some form of sport and exercise. In addition to that, there'll also be an opportunity for socialization and entertainment. And this is really important. So it should be done in a hierarchy. Academic work, sport and exercise, and social and entertainment are vital components for a successful university career. Successful students also develop patterns of behavior, and they stick to those patterns. So our successful students get up in the morning, they have their breakfast, and they attend all their lectures and practicals. They study some more, they exercise and socialize, and then they go to bed at a reasonable hour so that they are fresh the next morning to repeat exactly what they did the previous day. They also have a distinctive habit of listening, looking, and experiencing. They then question, ask for clarity, they argue a bit, they understand, they write down stuff, they file it, and then they review the material that they have worked with in that day. And these two are particularly important. And if you can establish these patterns of behavior, success will be yours to achieve. Get up, eat, attend all your lectures and practicals, study, exercise, socialize, and sleep. Then listen, look, experience, question, clarify, argue, and argue with your lecturer, argue with your tutor. Finally, understand the material, write it down, file it, and review it. Successful students also develop skills outside of the academic context. Leadership and developing leadership capabilities is vitally important. And you can do this within the residential system by becoming a senior student, a sub-warden, on a residence committee. You can do it within your sporting clubs or your community-centered initiatives. You can demonstrate people management and interaction via your position of responsibility and by vacation employment. Develop your people management and your interaction skills with people. Never forget, and this is vitally important, never forget that people get jobs, degrees don't. It's hugely important that you develop your people skills at the same time as you are earning your degree. It's vital that we develop the person at the same time as the degree is earned. Further advice. I want to encourage you to avoid at all costs the following: missing lectures, tutorials, practicals, and assessments. It's simply not a good idea to miss them. And even if you do get a leave of absence because you were ill, you've nonetheless still missed out on the experience of that lecture or the experience of writing that assessment. Avoid it at all costs. Avoid excessive help from peers. And by this I mean just getting the answer from a friend. There's every reason to work together with somebody, to ask a peer for some advice, to ask a peer for an explanation, but never just go and get the answer. It's not going to help you at all. Don't copy people's work. All you'll be doing is showing how clever and competent and knowledgeable somebody else is, and it won't be exemplifying your competencies. Don't copy. And finally, don't leave matters to the last moment. If you're given a project to be done over a 2-week period, don't start it on the second last day of that 2-week period. Start it immediately. If you've got a test coming up or an examination coming up, work at it a couple of weeks beforehand. Don't start learning the night before. It's not a good idea. It is inevitable that something may go wrong and may go differently to what you expect. And my advice to you is, in the first instance, please don't panic. More so, don't go and hide in a corner. Don't do either of those. We all reach a point in our lives where we need some assistance. And my advice to you in an academic context is, go and talk to your tutor. Go and talk to your lecturer. Go and talk to your head of department. Come and talk to me. I can help just as much as your tutor, your lecturer, your head of department can help you. You can also talk to your house warden. You can also talk to your sub-warden. They're all there to give you helpful advice and support you in the pursuit of your degree. We also have a hugely effective counselling centre at the university, and they provide a wide variety of services. Stuff like taking notes. How do I take effective notes? what are good study skills, or for that matter, psychological counseling. They are an enormously valuable resource that we have at Rhodes University. And my advice is make use of them. They really are there to support you. That concludes the 4 parts of my presentation, but let's just recap what we've been through. So, in part 1, I spoke about the role of the dean, details of the Faculty of Commerce, and studying at a university. In part 2, we spoke about constructing a curriculum, how you would put together courses that constitute a degree. In part 3, we spoke about how you would submit your proposed curriculum for approval. And in part 4, I spoke about expectations, performance standards, gave you some advice, and then gave you some hints at what you should do when things go wrong. I have one final slide to go through. 3 to 4 years is a very short time. Those years are going to go by very quickly. You chose a commerce degree at Rhodes University, and I want you to know that I selected you based on your potential, and I have every expectation that you will succeed. And now all that remains for me to do is to wish you good luck and thoroughly enjoy the degree and the courses you've chosen to do.